this is your before and after story. Prepare for an incredible career in nursing. At Southeastern College, experience expert hands-on training. Learn real-world skills in our professional lab and simulated settings. And train for opportunities as a practical nurse, registered nurse, or career advancement with our RN to BSN program. At Southeastern College, your future is bright. Visit sec.edu to get started.
Well, I'm trying
to get started. You're so
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1592, August 5, 2025. Second day in a row for this record, 100 degrees in 1947 and 48 degrees in 1994. Josh. No, I'll tell you about Josh.
Tell me about Josh.
Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
Hail you! And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and, of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Soucheray.
Two things worth worrying about.
Two things that are worth worrying about.
New research reveals that the Tintina Fault, a 1,000-kilometer-long geological scar running from the Yukon to Alaska, could be building up pressure for a massive earthquake. Thought to be inactive for 40 million years, the fault has now been linked to two significant quakes. One 2.6 million years ago and another 132,000 years ago, using high-resolution satellite imagery and some other kind of unpronounceable technology. Researchers from the University of Victoria and the University of Alberta uncovered hidden ground ruptures and fault scarps in Canada's forested north, evidence of ancient seismic activity. Crucially, they found no signs of large earthquakes in the last 12,000 years, suggesting that the fault may be overdue for a release of energy. And when she goes there, they believe it sets the stage for a 7.5 plus. I'm sure Stacy, the geologist, knows all about that. The second thing worth worrying about.
Number two.
Wait. Oh, it actually starts in Montana, Joe.
Well, whatever. It's close enough to put the Yukon in there.
Well, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
We are not fact-based at all. We just wing it on a daily basis.
That was a total, it's up by St. Cloud line.
Wait a minute.
Stone's throw.
I thought I had two things to worry about. It's the same thing. It's two different stories.
Worry about it twice.
Right.
Two things that are the same thing.
Did you guys see the video of the guy in Russia walking his dog as the tsunami started to hit?
Yes, I did, and I thought it was fascinating. He was on the Kamchatka Peninsula or whatever it is.
But at one point, you're like, bud, you might want to,
No, he was way up on a mountaintop.
Still.
Oh, Chris.
It was AI, Chris. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay, good. Good.
Okay.
That's interesting, Kenny, because now I find myself wondering about everything I see that's neat.
Absolutely everything's fake. Everything's fake. Nothing is real, and everybody smokes.
Well, speaking of that, I'll give you today's teaser from the New York Post.
Well, give us the other thing we should be worried about
first. It turned out to
first.
be the same thing.
Same thing, Kenny.
Worry
Two
about it
things
twice, like
worth
Chris said.
worrying about.
I just had Rook. Could you raise this again because she collapsed and now everything gets.
Speaking about worrying about things, Stacy has weighed in. There was a 2.7 bump out in earthquake in New Jersey today.
Where in the hell is it?
How about we do that during the break, fellas?
I had a teaser for you. Here it is from the New York Post. House Republicans subpoenaed nearly a dozen former federal officials and politicians, including Bill and Hillary Clinton, as well as records from the Department of Justice on Tuesday amid an expanding probe into the deceased pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. They're winning. Their plan is winning because I don't care. Nothing will come of this. It's daily BS, and we'll never know if we're governed by a group of world-renowned pedophiles or not. Who cares?
I think we are.
Who cares? What it's what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Hey, let's talk about the climate.
I don't like this giving up Joe Souchere. I like the Joe Souchere that's engaged and wants answers, and he wants them now. Damn it!
Here's a Dan Rather newscast from how long ago, Chris?
This is March 25th, 1982.
What's that, 43 years?
43 years ago, sir.
43 years ago, here's Dan.
Concern about rising temperatures on planet Earth heated up a hearing here in Washington today. For years, scientists have theorized about the dangers of the so-called greenhouse effect, the warming of the Earth's atmosphere due to the burning of coal and oil. And in recent months, as David Culhane reports, research has uncovered facts to support that theory.
Many scientists claim that the temperature of the Earth's atmosphere has been rising over the past 100 years, that the great sheets of pack ice in Antarctica are melting at a much more rapid rate than previously. And finally, that the sea level has been rising with increasing swiftness over the past 40 years. If these scientists are correct, about 25% of Florida would be flooded, along with low-lying areas all over the world. Climate changes could produce widespread disruption of agriculture. The American farm belt might be too dry, and the wheat and corn crops would have to move to Canada. Scientists blame the odorless, colorless carbon dioxide gas for these potentially dangerous changes around the planet. It is the greenhouse effect. The gas allows sunlight to filter down and warm the Earth. But like the glass of a greenhouse, the carbon dioxide tends to trap heat so that it cannot rise into space. The scientists maintain that the coal, oil, and gas we've been burning for 100 years have produced more and more carbon dioxide and helped overheat the Earth. Now, some political leaders endorse the demands for more CO2 monitoring stations, like this one in Hawaii.
Yes.
And they share the anger of the scientists at Reagan administration budget cuts at a time when they feel closer to getting definitive answers.
All right.
We are not doing the kind of research that we should be doing to determine whether or not these scientists who are so alarmed are correct in their assessment.
And what they find out will affect the lives and fortunes of millions of people.
Here we
the
are.
very survival of cities like this one. David Culhane, CBS News, New York.
Two quick things before you move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Picture 1982 graphics and technology with this high-tech news report.
Right.
CBS News. They had the state of Florida, and then they just basically took a blue crayon and, colored in the
25%.
shorts of it to make it look like. The other thing, do you want to listen to what Al Gore said again?
No.
No, here's why I think it's important to play again.
Yeah.
Just listen to what he said, Joe. Because he speaks out against the scientists, is my point.
I don't think he does.
Well, just listen to it again then. I think it's interesting.
At Reagan administration budget cuts
I don't
at
want
a
to hear
time
the
when
whole
they feel
thing. It's
closer
not.
to
I
getting
played it again.
definitive answers.
We are not doing the kind of research that we should be doing to determine whether or not these scientists who are so alarmed are correct in their assessment.
Well, he's saying he's siding with the scientists,
I think you could
indicating that he
take
wishes there was more research to enable them.
Chris, I think he just worded it very clumsily.
Okay, because it almost sounded like he caught wind of the grip.
I could see why you would think that.
Yeah.
But you came across an update, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
This is a group of his advisors. This is today. This was
Current day.
This was what, last Friday?
I believe it was Friday afternoon.
And this is a group of his advisors advising the Prime Minister of Australia on this very topic.
Returned with the answer to all your problems. Global warming.
I thought you were against it.
Everybody's against it, Prime Minister. I suddenly realized that is the beauty of it. We can get a unanimous agreement with all of our European partners to do something about it.
But how can we do something about something that isn't happening?
It's much easier to solve an imaginary problem than a real one.
You believe it's real?
Do you?
I don't know.
Neither do I. Haven't got the faintest idea. But it doesn't matter what we think. If everyone else thinks it's real, they'll all want to stop it, so long as it doesn't cost too much. So the question now is, what are we going to do about it?
But if it isn't happening, what can we do about it?
Oh, there's so much we can do, Prime Minister. We can impose taxes. We can stiffen European rules about carbon emissions, rubbish disposal. We can make massive investments in wind turbines. We can, in fact, Prime Minister, under your leadership, agree to save the world.
Well, I like that.
But Russia, India, China, Brazil, they'll never cooperate.
Well, they don't have to. We simply ask them to review their emissions policy.
And will they?
Yes. And then they'll decide not to change it. So we'll set up a series of international conferences. Meanwhile, Prime Minister, you can talk about the future of the planet. Yes. You can look statesmanlike. And it'll be 50 years before anybody can possibly prove you're wrong.
And you can explain away anything you said before by saying the computer models were flawed. The voters will love me.
You'll have more government expenditure.
Yes. How will we pay for it? We're broke.
We impose a special global warming tax on fuel now, but we phase in the actual expenditure gradually. Say over 50 years.
That will get us out of the hole now.
The Germans will be pleased. They have a big green movement.
And we can even get the frogs on board, as long as they get more benefits than everyone else. Okay, my broadcast is on Sunday morning. You have a day to get the conference to agree.
That's not a problem. The delegates will be desperate for something to announce when they get home.
There is one problem. Nothing will have actually been achieved.
It will sound as though it has. So people will think it has.
There it is. Perfect. I don't know which Australian Monty Python group that is, but they're pretty good. It's well written. 43 years ago was that rather thing. That's as good a date as any to say that was the beginning of the mystery. Mm-hmm. That's as good a date as any to say that's the beginning of the mystery, because clinging to this imaginary environmental hysteria is one of the last gasps of democratic socialists. They really can get a lot of headway making your life miserable if they can convince you that you're ruining the earth and
you're harming mother.
Yeah.
So if that was the beginning, what was their motivation at the beginning?
To take over.
The complete and total takeover of the world.
You got to wring your hands while you're doing that.
Yeah. Oh, I can just go in any direction. I've got so much interesting information. For example.
Wait, we didn't answer it. Has 25% of Florida gone away, or are we good?
No. In fact, people can't move there fast enough.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And how come all these billionaires who are hypocrites about when it comes to the rising ocean levels, how come they're all building seaside monstrosities, including Obama and the rest of them? Oh, what's his name? Zuckerberg. Doesn't he own half of Hawaii now? And he's putting up stuff there, and he goes out down the end of the dock and goes windsurfing and the whole deal. There's a statistic making the rounds that goes a long way to also describing the mystery. I find no reason to doubt this. It's been all over your social medias. The foundational pillars of the American middle class have been crumbling for decades, crushed under the weight of unaffordable housing, runaway education costs, and the rising price of just about everything. This full-blown affordability crisis is hollowing out the middle class from within. Add years of mass migration of millions of illegal aliens, and the wealth and opportunities once available to the native population have eroded even further. It's become impossible to ignore that many policymakers in Washington, seemingly aligned with the globalist billionaires, have deliberately waged economic war on America's middle class. That is why Trump rose to power. Two of the core bedrocks of the middle class, I don't know how you could argue this, two of the core bedrocks of the middle class are home ownership and family formation. Are we in agreement?
Okay.
Home ownership and family formation. These two pillars provide economic stability, social cohesion, and long-term investment that sustain a prosperous and resilient society. Alarm bells have been sounded, and the Trump administration had better be paying attention, because a new chart that shows the estimated percentage of 30-year-olds in the U.S. who are both married and homeowners spanning from 1950 to a projected 2025 has completely collapsed. The chart was posted by Nathan Halberstadt of New Founding. Look up New Founding. I don't know what that is. Who stated it is a critical civilizational problem. So far, I'm with it, even though I'd like to verify a few things, like what is New Founding?
New Founding, we connect and partner with all the people who will define a positive alternative vision for America. We invest in early stage startups backed by, in the cutoff here. So they're venture capitalists, it looks like.
Halberstadt is correct. I'm reading from Zero Hedge. Halberstadt is correct. Young Americans cannot afford homes, cannot start families, and increasingly see the American dream as just a dream. What has this given rise to? The mystery.
Yeah.
This has given rise to socialism and Marxism spreading across the nation like a cancer. It's as if the globalist elite in Washington deliberately sabotaged the middle class over the years, hollowing it out with decades of destructive policies designed to break those key pillars. The chart was enough for Elon Musk to respond with double exclamation points, as he too understands there needs to be a drastic and sharp course correction or risk losing the country to socialists and Marxists. The reason communism failed to take hold, and communism's already been around, has always been around, nipping our heels, but it never achieved a foothold, a purchase. The reason communism failed to take hold in the U.S. in the 1960s post-World War II is that economic expansion had stable jobs, rising wages, access to home ownership, and upward mobility. The revolution didn't die. It just changed tactics, with all things woke reemerging in the current unaffordability crisis that has taken decades to play out. Well, we can put this in GL terms. If you can't afford a house, you're probably wise not to start a family. And if you don't start a family, you're probably a renter. And you begin to think the American dream is out of reach. And maybe these democratic socialists like Zoran Mamdani and Omar Fateh, maybe what they promise sounds appealing to you because you aren't getting it any other way.
I've got a million questions and a million comments.
Yeah.
First of all, I agree with you, the elimination of the middle class. Where and when did that start? Who and why started that? Some say as far back as the 60s, and then Nixon knocking it out of the park, and then it getting progressively worse after that. I don't have an answer. That's not my answer. That's just what some say. Do you have any speculation on that? When and where, who and why?
I don't think it was the 60s. I think it was later than that. And I would have to indict economic reasons for this. I think economic reasons gave birth to the mystery, but now the mystery has surrounded the economic reasons with everything else under the sun.
Do you think it has anything to do with getting rid of the gold standard?
That I would not be knowledgeable enough to know.
Yeah, me neither. And I was truly asking. I wasn't going anywhere. I just don't know. My second point was, as you were reading that, I went to Zillow and entered in South Minneapolis. Here's some shocking, at least for me, statistics. 34th in Columbus, 4-bedroom, 1-bath, $250. 3 bedrooms on 46th in Portland, $299. Here, how about 42nd and Cedar, just a few blocks from where I used to live, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, $450,000 to live in shitty South Minneapolis. I mean, I can't blame anybody that age. Who can afford that? Here's one, 47th and Colfax for $615, Joe. I bought my house
because the neighborhood improved.
I bought my house on 39th and 20th in 1997 for $72,000. It was a fixer-upper, and boy, did I. And I did okay when I sold it.
I bought my first house in 1974 for $27,000.
So those days are over.
Well, you can't play that game because those
if
days
you buy
are
a
over.
house for $450, you're not going to sell it in 3 years from now for $950, are you? Or is that the way we're going?
No, I don't. There's no way it can. Because it's not even sustainable now.
Look what this has resulted in. It's resulted in the mystery. For example, virtually every city council member, the closer you get to the country's tallest buildings, I'm basing this on Minneapolis and St. Paul, are almost exclusively renters. They're almost exclusively single. And they have no horse in the American dream race.
I agree with everything you said. What I'm saying is we can't go backwards. We can't turn this $300,000 house today into a $120,000 house in 3 years from now. We simply cannot go backwards. The United States would fall apart.
But renting is so expensive.
Rookie, quickly look up what was in 19...
But you don't have to get a mortgage to rent, Matthew.
That's true.
$27,000 in 1974 is how much today?
Is that Sheffer?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
$27,000 in 1974 is how much today? Because what we're going to find out is it's a lot less than we think.
And that might have been the median
what year,
home.
sorry?
1974.
And that might have been the median home value in 1974, right?
Because I sold that dump for $100,000.
You're kidding.
No.
Mine was the median value when I was shopping, Chris, was about $110.
Okay.
To $120. I found this because it needed paint and everything.
Okay, $27,000 in 1974 is how much money today?
Is the equivalent in purchasing power to about $176,000 today.
Well, okay, there's no $176,000 house for sale in the Twin Cities that's as good as the one I bought for $27,000. There's your puzzle. The $27,000 house, which was a wonderful starter home. Those days are even over, starter homes. People get a home and they're there for a while. Starter home was an excellent home, $27,000. Today, find me a $176,000 house that would be as good as that house.
You won't find one.
You can't.
I found a condo. 41st and Queen, 168, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 555 square feet, $168,000.
But also, Kenny, what you're not factoring in is there's probably an HOA due that's most likely $500, $600, $700 as well on top of your mortgage payment.
Yeah.
I had a yard. I had a garage.
Write the number down there, the address number.
What number?
Just on a piece of paper so I can. I'm going to look it up on Zillow to see what it's worth right now.
All right.
You can do that?
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to do just that.
While you're doing that, I'm going to tell people about Bradshaw and Bryant. Then when we come back, you can tell us the great news, all right?
Yep.
Does Zillow allow you to look up the worth of any house?
Yes.
Yes, Zillow is a fine company to... all right.
I bet.
You make those bleepers spend some money here.
I will. They're at 83. Stock is at 83 today.
I'm talking to you about Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys. If you're like me and many other people, you might be a little confused when it comes to an accident and the insurance implications. They can be tough to deal with, those insurance companies. And you need a team. So let Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant and his team help explain your rights and represent you and help you through a tough time. For 6 consecutive years, Mike Bryant has been recognized as a super lawyer by Minnesota Law and Politics, which is the arbiter of such claims, and it's the real deal. Bradshaw and Bryant hopes you're never in an accident, but if you are, call Bradshaw and Bryant at 800-770-7008. Or go to minnesotapersonalinjury.com for a free case evaluation. And Bradshaw and Bryant reminds you to be not part of the problem. Don't text and drive or drive distracted. That's just common sense from Bradshaw and Bryant.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
I'll take one.
What? Truth, justice, and the suture.
It's going to be the finale, the grand finale, the 3-day bash of summer coming up really soon here, Labor Day for you lake owners. It's not too late to order in a tea-weeder rake from teaweedertool.com. Now, wait a second. Here's a better idea. Actually, if you're the guest of a friend that has a lake place that has lake weeds, order one up and present it to your host, the tea weeder. It's this amazing tool made from very sturdy aluminum. You toss it out from the shore or the dock, you let it sink, and then you tug it in with the attached cord, and it pulls up all those grody lake weeds that always circle your ankle and freak you out. It's very easy, and it's fun for the whole family. It's made and sold by a GLer Tim. He had a lake weed problem. He retired to the garage to figure it out. Then he came up with this amazing tool, a double row of offset teeth. That's at the head of it. A long handle, an attached cord. The results have been amazing. Be sure to read all the reviews when you go to the website, teaweedertool.com. All the materials in the Tea Weeder are sourced right here from the United States. Again, that's teaweedertool.com.
Rook, I paid $27,000 for a house in 1974. Today, that should cost about $176,000. What are you finding?
I'm finding
same house.
That same house that you bought for $27,000.
I sold it for $100,000.
Is worth $529,000. That's a Zillow's estimate. That's not.
Well done.
So
that's unbelievable.
So what do we do about that? And it's still a starter home, right, Joe? Is that a forever
I added
home?
I added on to it, and maybe subsequent owners have done things.
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,357 is the square footage.
Yeah.
So how do we make homes affordable to the young ones?
I think we're onto something darker.
This is being done by design.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you completely.
I think we're
Who are being manipulated by?
Can I help you?
Yeah.
Rothschild.
It's also not helping matters when the current sitting president and the director of the Federal Reserve are basically at war with one another.
Right.
And that's not helping out the American consumer by any means. Because they basically hate each other.
Well, what do we need?
Just a minute. This is deep.
Oh, boy.
This is bad.
I see the smoke burning.
No. We always said the mystery is the bringing about of a country that is not the United States. The United States was a country where you had a chance to own a piece of the pie. You had a chance to own property, have a home, raise a family. And as long as that could continue, The mystery didn't stand a chance. As long as you still had the ability to have a job with decent salary, with the chance of that salary increasing, and you had a chance to own property and have children, the mystery could not make inroads on that. It's been trying. It's been nipping at our heels
Convention.
for a long time. But the mystery has a much easier and smoother road in front of it as a result of what's happened to the value of a dollar. And now I'm lost because I suppose a lot of economists would argue that there's nothing dark or evil here. This is just the natural progression of the cost of living and inflation and interest rates. Yes.
And you look at housing prices and housing costs, the closer you get to the country's tallest buildings. It's far more expensive to live closer to the city of Minneapolis and St. Paul than it is out where I live or out where Kenny lives, right? And what is that proving? That's proving that most elections statewide are won, especially here, within the 694, 494 loop. We saw it with Walz the last time he ran. He didn't even campaign outside of the metro. So is that the route you're going down?
No. You lost me there.
Because of housing, most people that live within the loop are renters, or I guess closer to the country's tallest buildings are renters. They are not property owners.
Right, but that so long as that American dream was alive, that's what gave birth to the suburbs.
True. Yes, that's true.
You wanted there's a famous picture of Cottage Grove of all places that I keep seeing in various coffee table books. Cottage Grove in 1950. Well, it was a farm field with all of these rows of houses on it, and it was an indication of Americans wishing to spread out and own their own. What was the famous?
Met Stadium.
What was the famous guy in New York, John?
Levittown.
Yeah. Levittown was the same thing, and people. In fact, the American dream was so pronounced. The ability to own a home was so pronounced that you had these suburbs, they couldn't build houses fast enough. That's why you have all these first and second tier suburbs, and then they just kept going. Now maybe they're slowing down. But that if those statistics are true, that more than 50% of 30-year-olds were married and owned a home in 1950, and it's now less than 15%, there's the root of all problems right there. There's the birth of the mystery. There's the birth of the democratic socialists of America. There's the birth of troubled inner cities in America, because the politicians we're electing are absolutely catering to the inability of 30-year-olds to buy a home. They're not doing anything to help rectify that and remedy it. They're not friendly to business. They're not friendly to entrepreneurship. They despise competition. It's played, whatever happened economically has played right into the hands of Mysterians, because they're there with big packages with bows around them saying, we'll feed you, we'll build more of these ugly apartment houses that you can afford,
right.
We'll do everything.
All right. So say the right people do get elected. What in the heck are they going to do to turn this around?
Well, governments have to stop spending so much money. Entitlement programs would have to shrink. Entrepreneurs would have to be more welcome to fund new businesses. Those new businesses would have to pay what they can afford to pay, because they wouldn't be paying so much to the government, and you'd be putting people back to work making a living that would allow them to afford a house.
So a couple making $80,000 or less a year, I still don't see them affording $499,000 S-hole in South Minneapolis. I still don't see that happening, Joe.
And most lenders won't even pre-approve you for something that you probably could afford in some cases. That's the other problem, too, because of the risk scenario.
Yeah, I have to admit, in '97 when I bought, they were giving loans out. They were begging people to take. It was really, really easy, I wasn't making any money at all.
Which is what caused the 2008 crash.
Right. Well, I think you're right.
Well,
everybody says it was a correction. Yeah, I don't know.
Would Dan Pilla know about this? I wonder.
Maybe, yeah. You want me to reach out to him?
Call him.
Okay.
He's our tax guy. He's a gifted economist.
We're way out of our...
well, that's why I'm trying to call somebody.
Yeah.
I'm not out of my element when I can connect it to the mystery, but I'm out of my element to suggest what exactly happened economically. I do think part of it is government's growing too big, anticipating too much money, taxing too much, not being friendly to business. Well, because that's a Mysterian affectation. The Mysterians don't like corporate capitalism.
Well, how do you account for the rapidly rising value of real estate?
Well, that's where I have to have help. There's not a chance in hell that place I bought in 1974, nobody should pay $500,000 for that. It's just not, you know what? That's not right.
Man.
That's just not right.
Dude.
Oh.
What?
A median
Guess what the taxes
income.
are?
What?
$7,300.
They were about $600.
I can't go back that far, but
In 1974, the taxes on that property were $600. A nice neighborhood in Highland Park, $600. And you're telling me they're up to 70 something?
in 2000, which is as far back as I can go here, they were $2,283.
Okay, those are fees that are increasing that do nothing but sustain governments that keep growing.
Yeah.
I for $7,400 in property taxes, that guy's getting no more services than somebody not paying property taxes.
Yeah, I would agree. Woo!
To make Kenny's point earlier, the median household income in the U.S. is $77,700, and there's no way on earth you can buy a $400,000 to $500,000 house with that money, and that's basically the only houses you can get at this point if you want a decent house.
And there's your renters. Joe, if I had to move back to the Twin Cities just to work, and I'd have to rent.
Yeah.
I'm not paying $500,000 for some little, dump.
Did you buy the house you currently live in up north?
Yeah, I own 2 houses.
I mean, did you buy it, or was that bequeathed to you by your dad?
Nope. Not only did I buy it, I did not get a deal on it. I paid market value.
What's the deal?
I left him a voicemail and shot him an email. So I'll wait to see.
Well, the reason I'm asking, Kenny, did you pay less than you would have paid for the same house in the Twin Cities?
Oh, much less. Yeah, you should see this house I live in, Joe. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's way more house than we need.
Go ahead. Yeah, but you live out in bleeping Iowa.
And it was great when it was a rental, Joe. The five bedroom, perfect for families, and that's what we had renting from us, families, people with kids.
Yeah, but half of them were drunk laying in the front yard all the time and not paying their tab.
It was, it was a nice 50-50 mix of derelicts and good people. we learned how to be landlords.
With 2 of the 3 kids I used to have, I've witnessed them wishing to move to get bigger quarters, but unable to, and have decided to stay where they are, and they both have expanded their houses.
Oh. Well, forcing the appreciation, there's nothing wrong with that. That seems like the smart thing to do.
Upon those housing expansions, have they had to spend extra time with you and the CP?
Yeah, there was a stretch there. Yeah.
You're almost running an Airbnb.
Yeah.
The other
That's
thing
all
is,
solved now.
Okay, if your house is worth a lot more, like mine is worth a lot more than when I bought it, so we always think, maybe we should sell. But then if you look for a house, It doesn't matter. You're just turning all that money back in.
It's called sell high, buy higher is what it's called.
Yeah.
Well, the game I'm playing is, how long do I risk not selling my house? Because
you're anticipating a crash.
Because right now I could probably get a lot for it.
Yeah.
What about 5 years from now? Is there going to be anybody with the income to buy it?
You turn it into apartments.
Oh God!
Divide it up, low income housing.
Well, then is this on purpose? Is this part of the master dial turning behind the curtains that we're ruining the country?
The elimination of the middle class. That's the mystery we need to get to the bottom of.
I pay a little bit of attention to the real estate game, and loyal listener Jim via the town council just emailed. Is this true? You can now get a 45-year loan?
I have no idea.
Really?
At what rate?
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
Holy moly.
45-year loan.
I mean, you're going to be paying...
Yeah, you can get
You'll never pay that off.
You can get a car loan for 9 to 10 years.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen that.
So in 30 years from now, you'll start paying principal? Oofda.
How long can you get a car loan?
You can get it for 10 years if you need to.
You can get a 40-year mortgage, apparently. At 45, it says is unlikely anybody would give you that, what I'm looking at online. But it does, say 40.
What have we stumbled onto here?
Jetta.
We're tending to wander. What have we stumbled onto?
There's no more middle class. We keep talking about the elimination. They're gone. It's gone.
I got it. It's the same alignment with getting kids in debt early with student loans.
Wait.
They want to keep you under the thumb. That's what this is.
Me next.
Who's they?
Exactly.
It's not the elimination of the middle class. It's the elimination of the American dream. It's the American dream is not within the grasp of the 20 to 30-year-olds right now, making less than 80 in a house.
One of the kids I used to have studied in Europe, and he lived with a family in France, and one of his observations was there is no French dream. He also lived in England, and he said there's no English dream. At the time, he was still confident that and then he returned to this country. And at the time, he was still very confident there was an American dream. But this is now getting to be 30 years ago. There was still an American dream. And his observation was that in Europe, if there ever was a French dream or an English dream or a Spanish dream, it's gone.
That is troubling.
We closed.
That is troubling.
So,
and how are they all governed? Kind of a quasi-socialism.
You know what the American dream is now?
Have you ever had a dream?
No, I don't want to hear that. I got enough trouble in my head.
Maybe the answer to your situation, Joe, instead of selling it, just bequeath it to your kids.
Oh, yeah, then they're stuck with taxes they can't afford.
Yeah, inheritance tax and everything else. And if you don't put it into a trust, it'll be in court for 5 years.
That's already been done.
Okay.
Well,
then you don't have any problems.
Did you add
Life is
Trey
good
in there too?
Yes.
Or is that closed? Okay.
No, he made the cut.
Okay.
He made the cut.
Thank you.
Yeah. Say EcoFund Motorsports in Forest Lake is having this wonderful sale on personal watercraft. And when you buy the personal watercraft, you get the free Triton trailer. They're really well built. They're aluminum. They don't rust out. You're going to need something to haul this wonderful wave runner around. They're all Yamaha products, jet skis, wave runners, and get that free Triton aluminum trailer. No cost, no catch. Just a top-tier trailer to haul the new ride to wherever the water calls. There's still a lot of summer left. You look at this week's forecast, back into the 90s, baby. And they have excellent financing options available on all the units currently in stock. Oh, just a minute. I'm sorry, EcoFund, but I just had a deep thought.
Making a note right now.
A deep thought.
Spurred a thought in the EcoFund ad.
Deep
Red
thought.
paint.
A deep thought. I'll get back to it after I tell you how wonderful EcoFund is. It's in Forest Lake / Columbus on Highway 97, immediately west of 35. Go through a few of those tornado-causing roundabouts, and you're right there. Stop by, take a look. Maybe you're going to leave with a personal watercraft. Remember, we're also in the midst of the electric bike capital of the world. Scooters, motorcycles, 4x4s, side-by-sides, helmets, apparel. It's really the most fun store you'll ever shop in. EcoFund Motorsports in Forest Lake, Highway 97, just west of the interstate, and in Burnsville on the Service Road of Life, and a great, great website, EcoFundMotorsports.com.
This is Patrick Ricey for the Canopy Group. As you set out to explore Minnesota this summer, just know this: there are 234 cities in Minnesota with populations over 2,500. The Canopy Group has customers in all but 7 of those. Why is this fact important? Because the Canopy Group's experience in these Minnesota cities gives them a unique edge in providing you the comprehensive home and auto insurance options you want. Remember, the Canopy Group offers 16 insurance companies for a reason: to help match your specific situations, including your zip code, with an insurance company that meets your needs. This is done for you every year because your specific situation may change. It is also true that the insurance company's appetites that you're with now might change as well. The experience working throughout Minnesota provides thousands of Canopy Group customers with peace of mind, knowing that the Canopy Group is working for you. To learn more, visit thecanopygroup.com today.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
I think it comes right down to experience. You can really tell. I'm talking about when you have a cup of coffee from customroasting.com, you can tell that Steven, the proprietor and roaster, he knows a thing or two about what he does. He's been at it. Well, he goes back 35 years. He went to roasting classes 35 years ago, then opened up a little coffee shop in Canby. Now here it is, 2025, and Steven and the customroasting.net crew, they're a vital part of Buffalo, Minnesota, and they have been for many years, roasting a variety of blends and flavors of coffee beans. Now, when you go to this website, customroasting.net, take note of the GL, the Garage Logic tab at the top of the home page. Click on that, and it brings up the starter variety pack. And we start with the darkest, the robust French roast. Then it's the Boundary Waters blend, the Morning Blend, and the Columbia Excel. So I've had all of the above, and it's really, really good. All of them a cut above everything I've ever had. And the French roast, I'm going to admit, changed my life. It's a game changer. That's not hyperbole. It is so smooth. Now, Steven, he's been at it 35 years. He's proven himself over and over again that he really can provide a wonderful cup of coffee at a reasonable price. Go to the website, customroasting.net.
I had a deep thought I wanted to get out before John's news. I guess it involves the democratization of credit. Do you think 70 years ago people were not only a little tighter fisted, but made sacrifices in order to get the house?
Delayed gratification.
Maybe they didn't go on a vacation or buy a boat or have the latest car. Do you think maybe they made sacrifices? Today, you can have anything you want because everybody's got a credit card in their wallet. And then maybe you could afford the house if you didn't have that credit card debt. I don't know, because the housing prices are ridiculous.
That's how it worked for us. We got our debt down and we saved for a down payment. And that's what got us into the house.
Well, when I was a kid and lucky enough to live on a lake, I damn near knew the owner of every boat I saw on the lake because the boating was pretty much done by other people lucky enough to live on the lake. Today, if you go to White Bear Lake on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, it's a sea of watercraft.
Yeah.
And 75% of those boats were trailered to the lake, which is great. But that's the democratization of credit. And I don't know where I'm going with this. Did people 70 years ago say, we're not buying a boat?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they did.
They were going to say one or the other.
We're not going on a European vacation.
Well, that's for sure.
We're not buying a second home up north.
Yeah. Well, even as simple as something like spring break. When I grew up, there was a very few families that took spring break vacation. Very few.
When I grew up, I knew zero who did.
Yeah. Well, mine was probably close to zero.
Yeah.
Spring break was just a couple of weeks off.
Yep,
well, plus you were in North Dakota and people were dying to get out there.
So again, what does this have to do?
I don't know where we are. We've stumbled on something, but we don't know what to do about it.
Right.
Well, here's John. He'll help us with the news.
I will, but also I will add that when we bought a house and a long time ago in the 80s, first bought a house, we both worked 3 jobs so that we could pay it quick, build equity. And the people I know who are young, they're not so much involved in that sort of thing anymore. I got my job, leave me alone.
Yeah.
So we were willing to do whatever you needed to. So anyway.
Yeah.
Candy, I was waiting for you to say anyway. This news is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Ramsey County Sheriff Bob Fletcher weighing in again about an alert system that could be used in the event of a situation like the recent shootings of 2 Minnesota state legislators. The Department of Public Safety told 5 Eyewitness News it's had an emergency notification system called Everbridge since 2017 when state lawmakers first asked for similar technology to be implemented. But when they were asked if the emergency notification was in place, an agency spokesperson declined an interview request and issued a statement saying the State Patrol uses the Everbridge notification system. It was set up to notify those who work in the Capitol complex of alerts in specific areas of work. Ramsey County Sheriff Fletcher responded to that statement with the following: there's no excuse for not having or not using a functional mass notification system for our legislators on June 14th, 2025. The Capitol Security captain was notified at 2:37 a.m. of the attack on one of the legislators an hour before an attack that killed Melissa Hortman. Fletcher's statement continued with, hopefully there will be some accountability for this safety failure. Minnesota Representative Kali Vang-Her announced her run for St. Paul mayor yesterday. She's the first high-profile challenger to take on incumbent Mayor Melvin Carter. Her currently represents parts of St. Paul in District 64A in the House. She was born in Laos and says her family came to the U.S. as refugees. She says the city needs safe streets, strong schools, and thriving neighborhoods. Carter was first elected to office in 2018. He was elected to serve a second term in 2021. There are 2 other candidates also running for St. Paul mayor. Mike Hilborn is a businessman from St. Paul. Yan Chen is also running. She's a scientist and businesswoman. The election is November 4th.
Well, this her lady, she says the same thing too many politicians do. She wants to run also, she said, to counter Trump in his actions. I just wish we'd get somebody to represent St. Paul.
What does a thriving neighborhood mean?
It means you can afford to live there. We've just been discussing that.
But do you think that resonates with the Democratic voters when they hear somebody say, I'm running to counter Trump in St. Paul? Do you think they hear that and go, well, that's BS? Or do you think they go, yeah, good idea, yeah.
I think in St. Paul, the prematurely gray-haired 42-year-olds love that. And the ponytail guys who are 62 years old with the gray ponytail.
Riding their bike.
They love that.
Speaking of mayoral elections, the Star Tribune reporting Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry's re-election campaign says it broke the fundraising record for any Minneapolis mayoral campaign for donations through July, thanks to an influx of new and small dollar donors. So far this year, the Fry campaign has raised more than $539,000, over 40% more than he raised during his last campaign 4 years ago. His campaign has raised a total in the campaign of over $647,000, has almost $450,000 in cash on hand. State Senator Omar Fattah, who won the endorsement of the Minneapolis Democratic Farmer Labor Party in July, reported raising about $213,000, but has only $54,000 in cash.
I wonder how much of that was stolen.
Speaking of which, a 46-year-old man pleaded guilty to wire fraud and money laundering in connection with the Feeding Our Future fraud scam on July 24th. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, Maud Ibrahim partnered with Feeding Our Future co-conspirators through his nonprofit Think Tech Act Foundation. Ibrahim took deliberate steps to avoid learning the full scale of the fraud scheme, but still allowed his nonprofit to be used or further the scheme and receiving payouts in exchange, according to prosecutors. He then used MIB Holdings to launder the money he got and bought real estate in Ohio. Prosecutors add that Ibrahim's participation in the fraud scheme cost taxpayers millions of dollars. Hamdi Omar and Hebo Dar pleaded guilty to their roles in the fraud scheme past Friday. Federal officials are reviewing whether to remove books and signs with historic references to the harsh treatment of Native Americans from Minnesota's national park sites. An executive order issued by President Trump in March required employees at all national park sites to audit and report to the Department of the Interior any material that negatively portrayed Americans, past or present, and to do that by July 18th. In Minnesota, staff reported informational signs and books that referenced forced relocations, starvation, and treaty violations of Native American tribes living in Minnesota and Wisconsin. It's very worrisome, said Chris Gopfert, the Associate Director of the National Parks Conservation Association. The reported material is now under review, according to a statement on Monday from the National Park Service.
Discovered or remembered a fun quote from Orwell. Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past.
Mm-hmm. It's been on my mind a lot lately, that statement, as a matter of fact, last week.
Yeah.
I think you know why.
Yeah. Why?
Well, there's been the changing of history has been. Okay, here we go. Let's start.
Well, no, the only thing I'm going to say and it's not even really a debate. It's both sides, John. Uh-huh. I see it no matter who's in office. We got to just stop with the controlling of history.
Luckily for one side, though, one guy's in charge.
Right.
But John, Kenny's
the winners. Right. What's this? The line about the winner is the one that writes the history books?
The history.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The winner writes the history.
But it's not debatable, though, that this has been going on both sides, Johnny.
No, it has.
Of course it has.
On Monday, the North St. Paul City Council held an emergency meeting to adopt a contract with cybersecurity experts due to a recent cyber attack on the city's police department that may have compromised some data. It's unclear when the cyber attack happened. The council voted to approve a contract with McDonald Hopkins law firm to deal with the incident. The forensic analysis will cost the city at least $5,000. This incident comes right on the heels of that crippling cyber attack on the city of St. Paul. They're still working there to try to resolve that and get all services fully restored more than a week later. Let's take a quick break here and hear from Mr. Reavers.
Thanks, Johnny. Let's talk about our friends at Hofferman Water in Connecticut, Joe Souchere. You know what? You already know that they have the best water treatment systems known to man. So you get on the schedule, 612-895-2440. But how about this? You know what season it is?
It's water season.
It's county fair season, brah.
Yeah.
I've mentioned that I saw them at the Rice County Fair a couple of weekends ago. Scott County the weekend after that. Sibley County this
what does
past
this
weekend.
Have to do with anything?
I'm going to get to it.
Oh.
He's leading up to the...
I see.
I love you guys. The Dakota County Fair is happening right now, Joe and Matthew. And you know what? Right now, you can find the folks at Hofferman Water at all of these county fairs.
Oh, they're at the fairs.
And they're raffling off a free water softener for people that connect with them at the county fairs. And they also have a deal going on to upgrade to a brand new Premier Series water softener. That's the top of the line, by the way. And you're going to get a free reverse osmosis system. You just have to stop by the county fair booths or give them a call directly to talk with one of their certified water treatment experts on the sale. Hey, here's the deal. Get on the schedule. Go to HoffermanWater.com and book your appointment. And as long as you're on that website, you can see every single water treatment system that I've been talking about for a number of years. And it will do an amazing job of upgrading the quality of your water. So like I said, stop by the Dakota County Fair. When does that start? I think it already is underway, and it goes through this Sunday. Say hi to Jim and the entire crew at Hofferman Water and let them know that you heard about them here on the Garage Logic Podcast. I want it fresh.
You cannot stop
Give me
him.
that snow
He'll
cone.
just make a move.
Suck
Joe
all the
Souchere.
cherry juice out of it. Left Tyrell with white ice. Give me that snow cone.
What are you talking about?
The guy that called in to Sports Talk or Garage Logic decades ago, he ran across the governor prior to being governor, and Mrs. Ventura and the family were out at the state fair, and Tyrell had a big, huge cherry
Jesse's
snow
son.
cone. Yeah, had a big cherry snow cone.
Yeah.
And the bod said, "Give me that snow cone," and proceeded to suck all the only reason you get a snow cone is for the cherry
Wait a minute.
juice. Yeah.
Isn't that what dads are supposed to do to their
Well,
kids?
yes, but it just seemed
Give me
more,
that snow
more
cone.
That sounds
charming
like
that he-
something I'd do. I mean,
But you would say this to Ben, "Hey, can I get a bite of that?" And then you would still do the
Take
same
it
thing,
all.
but you would just say, "Give me that snow cone." I'm telling you, we are keeping it fresh here, and that's because we've got great sponsors to this podcast, just like the Minnesota's Freemasons. If you're looking for a ray of hope, look no further than the Freemasons. For a couple of years now on GL, I've been sharing with you all the great things the Minnesota's Freemasons are doing. They do big things like donating over $6 million annually to support cancer research, aging studies, and also children's communications disorders. Very admirable. There's over 8,000 Freemasons throughout Minnesota working together to make the world a better place by focusing, just like what we do here on GL, core values of friendship, personal development, helping those in need. Minnesota's Masons also give away dozens of scholarships each year to tomorrow's leaders. This year, they're going to give out over $900,000 in student scholarships for 2025. And to date, Minnesota Masonic Charities has given out over $13 million in scholarships. Quite a number there. That's why we're such a great fan of the Minnesota Freemasons. They're donating their time, talents to foster the next generation of business and civic leaders. You want to learn more? Super easy about Freemasonry, their scholarship programs, all sorts of info and upcoming events. mnfreemasons.org. Chris?
Sandy, the GL Quilter, weighs in. We were talking about county fairs during the fine Hofferman Water ad,
Probably
if I
want
say so
an
myself.
award or two.
Joe, figure this out. Since you're not allowed to do math,
Yeah.
tell Joe there's 87 counties in the state of Minnesota.
I'm very aware of them. I know them all.
However, the state of Minnesota has 92 county fairs.
Really?
what?
I don't know how that could
Do they
be.
include the Nativity County Fair?
County fairs are important to 4-Hers and feeding entries into the state fair. This is from Sandy, the GL Quilter, and superintendent of the Dakota County Fair.
Sandy is?
Yes, that's what
She's
she
the
said.
super?
My county fair has a dirty foot booth where you can go and have your feet washed by a carny.
Jeez. All right, then.
Can you get anything extra? Is it a la carte or is it just one size fits all?
Well, you have to know a few keywords, the secret code
The
word.
secret wiggle. The secret toe wiggle.
Joe, give me the cartoon bubble of the dirty foot booth at the Douglas County Fair.
Lots of males wearing sandals, which is revolting in itself.
I also see pictures of before and after.
Yes.
Some of their worst case feet, yes, and then they came out glowing.
Yeah, Cletus Olson from 1957 had the dirtiest feet. We haven't topped that yet.
Oh, my gosh.
Sorry, Johnny, I hate to do this to you. Joe, you asked and you shall receive. Dan Pilla has returned our call.
Dan,
Yes, sir.
why is the middle class hollowed out?
Well, I'm not exactly sure that the middle class is hollowed out, Joe. Can I have a little context, please, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, in 1950, 50% of 30-year-olds were married and owned a home. In 2025, that percentage will be less than 15%. The housing prices are through the roof. People can't afford the homes, and we're just wondering if it's all by a grand design.
Well, you know, my father used to say, he quoted Franklin Roosevelt ad nauseum, if something happens in politics, you can bet it was planned that way. Nothing happens by accident. If it happens, it was planned that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would say that over and over and over again. Now there's a couple of things going on now that I understand where you're coming from here. Number one, in the 1950s and 60s, to your point, my father raised a family of four sons, He was married. His wife was a stay-at-home mom. She stayed at home. She took care of the kids. He had one job, and we lived a comfortable middle-class lifestyle. Right? It was we were not rich by any means. Lower East Side of St. Paul. You know the lifestyle. That's where we lived.
Yep.
All right. So now it takes 2 incomes or 2.5 incomes to support that same lifestyle, and most families don't have 4 kids; they've got 2 or 3 kids, and so that's remarkable. Now, what the difference is, Joel, the fundamental difference is in the 50s and 60s, the total tax burden of the typical American never exceeded about 22-23%. I'm talking about federal, state, and local taxes. Now the total tax burden of the typical American family is north of 45%. And if you live in Minnesota or California or New York, some of these high-tax states, your tax burden is north of 50%, 51, 52%. So you're living on half your money. That's the fundamental difference. Is the tax burden has gotten so heavy and is really stripping the capacity of middle income Americans to get ahead. Now they're able to tread water, Joe. They're able to basically sustain or maintain, I should say, but they're not getting ahead like they used to.
You got that right. And I know I caught you off guard at this. I want to get back to you and set this up so we don't have to rush through it. So why don't we count on you tomorrow? No, I'm not here tomorrow because I have an appointment. Why don't we count on you Thursday? Are you available?
I can make myself available to you, Mr. Mayor. I am at your service.
Dan Pilla is a tax expert. He's in the tax business. I'm going to hang up on you, but stay on the line because Reavers will set it up.
Sure.
All right. Thanks, you, Dan. All right.
My pleasure, Mr.
So
Mayor.
we'll have Dan Pilla on without a rushing through it and try to figure some things out on Thursday's show. Now back to Mr. John Heidt.
Thank you, Joe. Russia has declared it no longer considers itself bound by that self-imposed moratorium on the deployment of nuclear-capable intermediate-range missiles, a warning that potentially sets the stage for a new arms race as tensions between Moscow and Washington rise again over Ukraine. In a statement yesterday, the Russian Foreign Ministry linked the decision to efforts by the U.S. and its allies to develop intermediate-range weapons and preparations for their deployment in Europe and around other parts of the world.
Thanks, Dan.
Attorney General Pam Bondi yesterday directing the Department of Justice to open a grand jury investigation into how the Obama administration officials handled intelligence about Russian interference in the 2016 election. The grand jury probe marks another escalation of the Trump administration's focus on allegations of wrongdoing by Obama officials, including the former president. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has in recent weeks declassified various documents connected to Russia's election interference, claiming it showed treasonous conspiracy by Obama administration officials. The documents, though, do little to suggest any wrongdoing by the intelligence community in trying to investigate Russia's efforts to influence the 2016 election, and most of the facts in the case do point to the Russians trying to influence the election. Moody's Analytics chief economist Mark Zandi says the U.S. economy is, in his words, on the precipice of recession, citing indicators from last week's economic data releases. In a social media post yesterday, Zandi pointed to stagnant consumer spending, contracting construction and manufacturing sectors, and projected employment declines. Rising inflation makes it difficult for the Federal Reserve to provide economic stimulus, according to The Economist. While unemployment remains low, Zandi attributed that to declining labor force growth rather than economic strength. Sean Diddy Combs will remain in jail ahead of his sentencing hearing, as his recent motion for bail has been denied by the judge who presided over his trial. Judge Aaron Subramanian said Combs fails to satisfy his burden to demonstrate an entitlement to release. The order comes a week after Combs' defense team filed a 62-page letter to the court advocating for his release ahead of his October 3rd sentencing date. According to the official death certificate, Ozzy Osbourne's cause of death was listed as acute myocardial infarction and out-of-hospital cardiac arrest, according to the New York Times. Coronary artery disease and Parkinson's disease with autonomic dysfunction were also cited as contributing factors. New York Post Media Group is heading west in early 2026 with plans for the California Post, the tabloid announcing yesterday. The new outlet will set up its headquarters in Los Angeles with Nick Papps as the California Post's editor-in-chief. The publication will be available via print, mobile, desktop, video, audio, and social media, and will be a separate entity from the existing Post.
Now, granted, it'll be a tabloid and full of L.A. gossip, but it's astonishing that someone is actually going to start another newspaper.
Yeah.
I can't think of another example. And I presume a print version, John.
Yes. Yeah, it was.
You could buy it at the newsstand.
Yes, exactly.
I think it's great.
Exactly. Thankfully, this story does not pertain to us here locally. It's mating season for most of the 29 species of tarantulas in the United States.
Oh, boy.
10 of which can be found in California. Around this time, tarantulas tend to leave their burrows to hunt for a mate, and they can travel up to 20 miles on their 8 legs to make a love connection.
He was determined.
Yeah.
29 miles.
Undefeated.
In Southern California, the 2 most common species are the Mojave blonde tarantula, which resides in the Mojave Desert area, and the California ebony tarantula, which lives in the south and eastern regions of San Diego and Imperial counties, according to Danny McCamish, senior environmental scientist for the California State Parks. During the mating season, which begins in August, can last until December, male tarantulas leave their burrows. McCamish says this highly visible behavior contrasts sharply with their otherwise cryptic burrow-dwelling lifestyle.
Doesn't the broad kill the old man when they're done?
Tarantulas?
Isn't that?
No, that's
some animals.
Black widows.
That's real life.
Yeah, that's
You're
real
thinking
life.
that's real life.
Remember that screwball that ran for office? Didn't she have a tarantula on the end of a stick or something, waving around at the tenant? Or
she just threw the whole thing.
Threw the whole tarantula down the steps there. And, oh, boy,
She's
that would
fallen off the.
That would have been scary, wouldn't it?
I believe she's a GLer probably listening right now.
I know. Marissa, I think she's wonderful, but she had was that a pet, I wonder? A pet tarantula? Or what? How'd that work? I wonder.
Chris, give her a call. Let's get her on.
Thanks, Johnny.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's great, and I want to add to the news before we take a short time out here. I just want to say, I'm thrilled at the annual bucket removed from the head of a bear story.
Sure.
There's one. Did you have it in the news, John?
I didn't. No, I did see the story though. Yeah.
This was a bear over in Wisconsin, 2-year-old sow, and they had to shoot her with a tranquilizing dart and then yank that bucket. She'd been walking around for a week with the clear plastic jug. And I, that's kind of an eerie thought, isn't it, to have a woods full of bears with jars over their heads.
Yeah, confusing.
Yeah, kind of like a Far Side cartoon.
Yeah, right.
And I'm glad, I always take note of when bears are freed from plastic jugs. I like it.
It's a feel-good
to bring
story.
you a bulletin
Yeah,
concerning
thank you. It's a bear update. Thank you.
Stone Park has turned into a city. Hold it, bear! Hey, look at that bear up there!
Look at that bear.
Go down a parapet! All right, look out! Come back here, bear! Don't be afraid, bear. Move this way. Give me your paw.
What did you do that
That's not a bear.
I didn't buy them.
You can't change
That's
it.
a lion.
You can't change it.
from the Wizard of Oz.
It's not. It just has nothing to do with a bear at all. And
Well, you confused me when you said...
I didn't confuse you at all.
You said you wanted a line from the Wizard of Oz.
No,
I thought you
didn't.
said you wanted a lion from the Wizard of Oz.
No.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it was just a typo.
Either that or a flying monkey.
Right.
I want to keep reminding you that if you need a new garage door, get a hold of Precision Door MN. They serve western Wisconsin, the metro area. Great outfit for your daily garage door needs, but if you need a new door, you might as well get it accomplished in the summer when the weather's comfortable and you don't have to freeze to death with that open garage door while they put a new one in. They have models for every budget, and they send a designer out. That's a free consultation. You pick the new door, and right now, GLers are getting an offer from Precision Door. Get $100 off a single garage door and $200 off a double door. You can book online at precisiondoormn.com. That's one word, precisiondoormn.com, or call Precision Door either for your regular service needs or if you want to set up a new garage door consultation. Call Precision Door, 612-263-6985.
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
Let's talk about our friends at North American Banking Company. I was looking for the graphic for YouTube. Hey, here's the deal. If you're a business owner, you should turn to the experts at North American Banking Company because they are very pro-business with a lot of their dealings. So if you want to capitalize on an opportunity or solve a problem, turn to the experts. And you can go online right now at nabankco.com to learn more with personalized service. And you know what? Now is the time to also put your home's equity to work. We were just talking about that very thing earlier here in GL. So use that home's equity to, maybe get a line of credit. It's going to give you flexible access to funds when you need them most, whether it's a home project at the home or the cabin or an unexpected expense or something else. Their experts make it easy. And they offer all of the same services as the other big national banks and also the same online and mobile banking options. So check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. They've been at it since 1998 when they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender. Joe?
Only because they come to us all the way from Marloth Park in Mpumalanga Province, South Africa, from the Traveling Lymans. It was on this day.
Today is already August 5th.
In 1851, the Metawankton and Wapakut bands of Dakota sold most of their lands in the southern part of the state. And then I'm not going to read the rest because it's too complicated.
Got it.
On this day...
It didn't work out too good for them.
Other bands had sold their lands in the Treaty of Traverse des Sioux. But this was a different deal. We had her mentioned yesterday, and just ironically today, on this day,
August 5th,
1945, Lonnie Anderson was born in St. Paul.
Oh.
Yeah. She achieved fame.
You know why I knew that?
Because
John had it in his news.
It was in the news story.
It was?
Yeah.
Yep.
John said 1 day shy of her 80th birthday.
Do you listen to the program?
On this day,
August 5th,
1957, the Cincinnati Reds and the Detroit Tigers played an exhibition game at Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, drawing a record crowd of 21,783, which was obviously at capacity for that place. The Tigers won 6-5.
Did you guys see the Reds game on, was it Saturday when they tried to play at the NASCAR stadium over the weekend?
When it poured, you mean?
It not only poured, they ran out of everything. They had no hot dogs. They had nothing.
What do you mean the
disaster.
NASCAR stadium?
So baseball did this huge thing where they, like, remember a couple years ago it was Field of Dreams, and then so this was their latest gimmick where they set up a baseball field inside of a racetrack.
Well, where were they? Darlington?
It was
or
Tennessee. I don't know which. Maybe,
but it was huge. They were trying to set an attendance record for Major League Baseball, and they shattered it.
No,
but the problem is, they
ran out of wieners.
Well, but the game didn't start till what, Johnny? 10 o'clock at night or whatever, because it rained so bad.
They only played half an inning,
and they played half an inning just because they wanted to make it official with the attendance record.
Half inning is not official.
No, but they want to make the attendance official.
I see. On this day,
August 5th.
In 2012,
I like the story, Chris.
Thank you.
Bobby Tufts was elected mayor of Dorset, Minnesota. That was a symbolic rather than a practical office. He was 4 years old. Wasn't that cute? On this day in sports disappointment history,
August 5th,
1961, Vikings lost their first ever exhibition game. They lost to Dallas 38-13.
They started this early in 61?
Apparently.
I suppose they were playing more games back then, too.
On this day,
August 5th,
in 1987, Phil Necro suspended.
Oh, yes.
He had a hardware store in his pocket.
That was still the best when Cheetah joined you and Pat to talk about that story.
I ran into Cheetah the other day at the gas station.
How's he doing?
Looking fit and fiddle.
Nice.
He was on his way to Keller to play golf.
Nice.
On this
Keller?
day.
Huh.
Yeah. On this day, well, he's an ump. On this day.
Wow. August 5th.
You know. What is it today?
August 5th.
Oh, 1994. I don't know why this would be under sports disappointment. Glenn Taylor bought the Timberwolves.
Well,
Glenn
wasn't exactly a great owner.
Well, why? Of course he was. They just been to the playoffs.
They were the most dysfunctional franchise in sports for like 2 decades.
Yeah, they got along all right. You're right.
Was it his fault?
Huh?
Kind of.
Was it his fault?
Kind of.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, GLers.
Hey, did I mention that baseball game?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Hey, GLers, do us a favor if you wouldn't mind. Hit subscribe on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. That's right. Garage Logic. We've got a YouTube channel, and you can watch the show there each and every single day, starting right around noon. You can also see full segments, video shorts, behind-the-scenes footage, and we should mention once again, we will not have a live show tomorrow, so you will get a best.
I got to do a thing.
Got to make sure everything comes out okay.
Yeah.
But just search Garage Logic on YouTube and search Garage Logic on all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And also sign up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to your inbox each and every single day. And it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up right now at the website, which is garagelogic.com. It is time once again that we check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And now is the time for you to do the same. So do not delay. Do exactly what I did and pick up that phone and dial 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. When you call that number, you're going to get Josh. And he is there for you for that free, yes, I use the word free, 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And he will always give you the straight talk. He will never give you the sugar-coated advice. And he is on the line with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And Josh, I can confirm, and you're willing to deny, if possible, you do not wear American Eagle jeans. Is that correct?
I do not wear American Eagle jeans. I leave that to young girls or younger guys, but I do not wear American Eagle jeans. The ad program that featured a very attractive young woman has helped the stock of the company reverse its downfall. So I guess that is the intention for any advertising campaign, is to bring more people into the store and get you to buy their product. Additionally, there's been a lot of controversy from the, we'll say, woke media. I'll just say, leave it with the woke media about what the American Eagles jeans ad had to say and what it applied to society. To me, and of course, I'm an older guy, it's a jeans ad featuring a very attractive young woman, period. Somebody wants to sell denim, and denim at one time and maybe now is in. I am still so old school that I'm still wearing either Wrangler or Lee jeans when I do wear jeans. I much prefer wearing, if I'm out and about casually, my golf pants manufactured with the brand name either Nike or I'll say Nike or some other golf bit of clothing. Of course, most of my running gear is either Nike or Saucony or Asics, but that's what I tend to wear, casually. Or if we'll say dressing for success, I'm one of those strange people who has been a mail order shopper or now internet shopper for years, and I have found several dress for success options that have worked extremely well for me for decades. I just leave the advertisements for retail and treat them for what they are. But it is very interesting that the advertisement for American Eagle jeans has actually helped their stock. That said, retail stocks are very, very difficult, and you'll find how difficult they are next week when most of the retailers start their reports. We've already seen retail reports from the likes of Walmart, which is okay, Costco, okay, Target, not so okay, and favorite Amazon reported last week, and that was a beat and raise quarter. So the stock did sell off from its recent number, as analysts were a little bit more concerned with the amount of spending on AWS and the fact that growth relative to Microsoft's cloud growth has slowed a little bit. That said, Amazon's AWS is still significantly or generates significantly more revenue than does Microsoft's Azure, even when you add in OpenAI to that. People did like Microsoft's numbers, we'll say a little bit more than Amazon's, but I'm still sticking with my view on Amazon and still have my $300 price target on that. Amazon has many levers to pull for growth from, of course, their retail business, the advertising business, their logistics business, and AWS, and I'm even forgetting, we'll say their TV and movie business and sports-related business with Prime. Just something to pay attention to, in retail. And when it comes to, we'll say, Microsoft and Amazon, many of the, we'll say, with the exception of NVIDIA, which has yet to report their earnings, and they'll be doing that at the end of this month, the large tech companies, Microsoft, Meta, Google, and Amazon did show significant or commit to more spending to build out their data centers and artificial intelligence. When you're talking about data centers, it increases the need for chips. Now, Amazon does make some of their chips, but NVIDIA is the big chip player. These companies with their spending could be spending a little bit more on NVIDIA, which could boost the stock when they report up a little bit more than it currently is trading, yet NVIDIA is still expensive on both the price to sales and price to earnings basis, as is Advanced Micro Devices, which is number 2 in the space. Advanced Micro Devices, AMD reports tonight. You could see a pullback in the shares unless their guidance is way above expectations. The other larger player in the AI chip space is Broadcom. They do make custom chips, and that stock has been also moving up. All of the chip space, however, and this is, there because the chips have been leaders, for the past few years with on the backs of the development and build out of artificial intelligence. But a word of caution is next week, President Trump is talking about tariffs that could be imposed specifically on chips. The idea behind that being the U.S. needs to be the leading manufacturer of chips and not someone else. Just a word of caution there. Now, one other word of caution, as well as, we'll say, we'll give a pat on the back to myself for a stock that I have traded and have talked about, Palantir, which is another small company that has had huge results in artificial intelligence. It's one of the few companies that's actually making a lot of money with their data analytics programs and their contracts with the government and private enterprise. They continue to beat and raise and believe that they have the ability to grow at least their revenues 10 times where they are today, and they showed $1 billion worth of revenues in their recently reported quarter, and they're looking not only to grow and utilize the artificial intelligence or show people the tools to use to improve their businesses, but they believe that they can do it with fewer people over time. Palantir, very interesting stock, volatile, expensive on both the price to sales and price to earnings basis, and still sitting with a pretty significant short position. I would say at this time of year, one, be careful out there. Two, make sure you increase your cash position should we have any pullback, which is typical for this type of time of the year, so you can add to positions at lower price, or initiate positions at lower prices.
Excellent advice. As always, Mr. Money Talk, you heard him, GLers. Now is the time for you to pick up the phone and make the call for that free 48-minute financial consultation. And you do that just like I did by dialing 952-925-5608, where you always get straight talk and never, ever sugar-coated advice. Josh, as always, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Chris.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorsed